Hello friends and hello student. In this session we learn the prime number or not in C language. So let us start. I first share my laptop screen and here fix the position so you can look better way. And here turbo C++ is there. I just open and here take some process and now open Alt F. There is take new file and here in comment section write a program to enter one integer number and second line find out that that number is prime or not. You can say that. Okay. So any definition in C language first divide in three parts. First is what is input and what is process and then what is output. Okay, so in this definition we can say that enter one integer number, that is our input, and that number is a prime or not, that is our output. Just message the number is prime or number is not prime. So in between the find out, that is we can, that is our process or logic. So now we can first question. So what is prime number? That is a question. So I give the answer. So any number divisible by 1 and number itself, that is a prime, otherwise it is not prime. And in other words, we can say that any number there are two factor, that number is prime, and more than two factor, that number is not prime. Like if you not understand, then I give example like 5 is a prime number. Why? Because there are two divisible, 1 and number itself, 1 and 5, that are other divisibilities. 5 number is not possibility. So there are two factor, or we can say that 1 and number itself, that is a divisible by 5, that is other factor is not possible. Like you can divide 5 to 2, so that is one remainder is there. So remainder is 0, that number is prime. Like that 8 is not prime, because why? Because that factor is a 1 and number there is no problem, but that also divisible by 2 and 4, so that is a other two divisible is there, or other two factor is there. So 8 is a not prime. So in this example in your mind, like we can say that uh, odd number is prime and even number is not prime. That is not case in the prime number. Like 9 is also not prime. That is a odd, but 9 is a not prime because that factor or divisible by 1, 9 and 3 is also possibility. So 9 is not a prime number. So that is a prime or not. I think you can understand what is a prime. I just give comment line to your reference at our example. So now we can apply the logic, and 1 and 2 is a prime number always in mathematical, that is rules. And some say that is a 2 is not prime number, but all major mathematical say that 1 and 2 is a prime number. So we can follow that rules. And now we can start our logic, and that is std.h standard input output and console input output conio.h, and take void main and then start opening and closing brace and just first save our file, and that we can give prime first three letter, or you can take 4 and number prime. Okay, and dot c, so that is the extension. So maximum you can give your file name up to 8 character. Okay, now we can take some variable, and that is n is required to getting the number, that the number is prime or not, and that divisible, so we can divide, so that is take d divisible, and then one flag variable, so that we can assign 1. So if flag is a 1, that is a prime, otherwise it is a not prime. So we can set that logic at that variable known as a flag variable. So that maximum size we can take 4. So flag is there. Okay. Now we can input our number, and that is enter 1. We can say that integer. Okay. So integer number And then scanf function, that is printf, just message is there. So %d, that is formatting symbol, and n, so n is taking from user side or the programmer side, we can say that. And now the question, which loop we have to use, there is important question in any programming language. Or here in C language, we can use the, there are two main loop category, like entry control loop and exit control loop. In entry control loop, there are two sub loop, we can say that, or that example, we can say that, like for and while, and exit control loop, that is do while loop. So number programming, we can generally use the while loop. Here we can know our iteration, like here in phi, I just give the idea, our starting, if we enter the phi, I just give the phi example. So we can like 1, then 2, then 3 and 4 and up to 5, we can continue our loop. So 1 is removed because 1 is a always divisible all numbers, so that loop we cannot consider the 1. And 5 is also number itself we cannot take, so we can, if enter 5, then we can that number check to if 5 is divided by 2, yes or no, 3 and 4, up to that number, not itself number. So if we can take 8, so we can start to like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and up to 7. So I give two example, 5 and 8. So if you check that pi is prime or not, so you can take that loop is pi 2 to 4, and if you check 8 number, then your loop is go 2 to 7, not to 1 and 8, that is not taking in your loop. So here we can give that base of logic. Here I give d for 2. We can start our loop directly 2, not 1. Okay, so we can take that loop is a when initially last iteration we have to not find that we can use while loop, otherwise we can use the iteration. So how many loop you are, some beginner student not know what is iteration. So iteration means how many times your loop is repetition, so that one is a iteration. Okay, so in this prime number or not, we can also take the for loop, but here while loop is best. So n is greater than, not equal to, just d, because we cannot reach that up to, not possible. Here we can say that like 5, so we cannot take here 5, and like 8, so we cannot take 8. So our loop is start directly 2, and that number, not that itself number is before that loop is terminated. Okay, now opening and closing brace is there. Now we can take if condition, and that uh, number n and module operator we have to use. Reminder we have to find, and equal to 0. So that is a not prime number, and that our flag we can set as a here, and that 1 is there, we can set 0. So here you, if you here take not equal to, then here you can set the flag 1. But here we can, there are two possibility in if condition, equal or not equal. But some student not understand what is not equal, like in circuit design, inverter is there, true or false, false is true. So better we can simple way logic, and that is equal sign. And now we can flag assign to 0, not 1. But if 1 flag, that we can say that prime, and if that is 0 flag, that is not prime. So that type of logic we have to set, and just use the break keyword. So what is a use of break? Break is a just break or terminate only one loop in any program, or in C language, the use of break keyword is a terminate only one loop. So here that while loop is terminate, and directly cursor go in the after the while here, that is transfer automatically. So we can say that that is a here backward jump, and continue keyword is, that is a forward jumping. Break, continue, and go to. There are three statements, and that statement known as a jumping statement. And go to is a avoided because there are unconditional jumping statement. So my upcoming video lecture, I also cover these. What is different break and continue, and what is a go to statement, and why programmer avoid the go to statement in their program. Okay. So now we can focus over this logic, and here after the if condition we can plus plus to D. What is a plus plus? That is a increment, and that is a postfix increment. If you not idea to operator, so previously my old video lecture, you can see increment, decrement operator, then conditional operator, that is known as a ternary. So main category operator is a three: unary, binary, and a ternary. So here, if one operand is there, so that is a unary. Unary means one, and binary we can use two operand, and ternary means three operand, three variable. Operand means variable. So that's D plus plus, that full form D equal to D plus 1. So increment by one value. So we can start our D directly 2, and then we can plus plus. So not up to that number, but before that loop is terminated. So in case if we can enter 5, so that is a that condition 5 is greater than 2. Yes, that is here check the modulo operator, that is pi not divisible by 2, then here d plus plus 3, then 3 pi is greater than 3. Yes, here also check 5 modulo that d not possible, d plus plus 4 up to 4, that also not possible, and directly plus plus, but equal sign is not, that loop is false. Okay, so here we can interest ourselves in mind. So you can paperwork and then get the better logic. Here we can say that directly, if flag is only remain one, so we can directly print that like number is, we can say that prime, and else part here we can take if else, and inner we can only simple if you condition use. And I just copy this message, and here we can provide number is not prime, so just only press not, keyword not. Okay, use, and my get ch and semicolon is there, and just remove this blank space, and here also one extra. Yes, F2 save, and now logic is ready. Okay, let us check. I first compile. So that is our exe file is generated, and I press enter and then control F9. First I give the file, so because we have to take some paperwork or board work. So let us, that number is prime. Yes, our logic is no any problem. And let us check 8. 8 is not prime. So let us check. Yes, that is not prime. Also we can take 9. So that is also not prime. Yes, that is not prime. So how it possible? Let us check in iteration. So alter W, and I also all my number programming series, or we can say that my video lecture, I put the watch and output window. So you can better understand my logic or programming logic in C programming. And here output, last our output is print. And how to set here, just click in watch window, and that is a green selection pan. You can just press enter key, and that edit watch, that is menu window is open, and watch expression give to this order declaration of your variable. Like here first I give the n, and then down arrow key press and just enter key, and d, that is directly 2, and then last our flag variable. So there are three variables we have to use in this program, and if condition, simple if decision statement, and if else condition, that is also known as a branching statement. If else, nested if else if ladder, and switch case, that all my previous video lecture I cover. If you not watch, then first watch, so you can also better where you understand this logic. Okay, now I can start the loop iteration, that alter R, that is start. Here press information, and we can press F7. So we can directly start the main. If you directly start the while loop, that you can that time use the step or F8. Okay, so that is also possible, but you can start in previous my demo lecture I also cover what is use of F8. Red line is there, and you can directly while loop, not input. Okay, I just start F7. So let us all first see in the watch window all that is known as a garbage value. So in C language, there is, you cannot assign any variable that time, all garbage value. And now that line is execute, and I press F7. So that D is a 2. So and flag is 1. So N is a garbage value. There we can initialize D is a 2 and flag is 1. Now here Here you can look our output, but now is clear screen, so just is output is gone. I press F7, yes, here is clear, and yes, new message, enter one number, and then scan. I give like first 5, so we can check in our logic, yes, how it possible. So n is 5, here assigned to n is a 5. We can see what is compiler process internal, and greater than d, yes, d is a 2 and 5 is greater than, that is a relational operator. Okay, and now condition, yes, that is divisible name, no, possibility not, modulo n modulo 2, so that condition is false. Then d plus plus, so here one increment, plus plus is a postfix, so that is a t. Now condition is true, yes, condition is true. That condition, if condition is false, but while condition is true, so that is two condition, while and if. So pi modulo t, that is not possible 0. Okay, so that directly jump to here, and d plus plus, yes, 4 now. So 5 is greater than 4, yes, our goal is sufficient. We can reach 2 to 4 in 5 case number enter user 5, that we can 2, 3 and 4, up to 4, not 5, because number itself we have to not take in our loop. So now that is d is a plus plus, so 5, and while loop is not equal to is there, so we cannot assign here greater than equal to, just equal to. So condition is false, and our flag is already 1 we have to assign. And flag 1, that's the number is prime. So here now in output window is print prime number. And now we can see the number is prime. Okay, let us check. We can assign second time trace this program and taking to the 8. So directly how the break keyword used in this program. So that is important. So again, iteration start, I press F7, all garbage value is there. And now clear screen, that output, previous output is gone, yes. And enter one integer number, yes, message is print in output window, and scan. And here we provide the 8. Okay, so that time we can take 8, and now condition is true because n is 8 and d is 2. We can starting 2 to 7 up to 7, but before the break is keyword is break, how it's break possible, Joe? See in if condition. So here we can and modulo n is 8 and d is a 2, so directly this if condition is true. So directly we can say that third factor is appear, like 8 is a 1 and number itself, there are two divisibility, but now 2 is also divisible by 8 number, so that number is not prime, so we can set our flag 0. So here like fact is 1 and now is 0 is assigned. And directly how break keyword use, like just press F7, that while loop is terminated, like directly jump to outside of the loop, not d plus plus again and again, because we can find that our number is a prime. So why can we can continue our loop directly? Here we can use the break. Otherwise you cannot use break keywords, then your continue up to 7. That is a, if you not use break keyword, so that up to 7, that loop is repetition again, no any requirement, compiler just burden. So there is no requirement, because that we have to judgment already, flag is 0, so that number is there not prime. So that if condition is false, flag equal to 1, no. Here else part, the number is not prime, here is print now, yes, and then output is come, so number is not prime. So I hope I just F9 press, so that selection is gone, because last that is a closing brace, so that compiler is waiting to again you can start your watch or not. So I just full screen. So very simple logic, the number is prime or not. The number is a prime if divisible by 1 or itself, that is number is a prime, and otherwise if any other possible number is divisible is get, that number is not prime. So I think you can clear cut in your mind what is a prime number. Okay, so any language you can, C++, Java, J2EE, C sharp, there, Ruby, Python, all language, that concept is not different, logic is same, but some that condition or statement or logic that condition is different, but the logic is not different. So you can also use same that logic in C++, Java, C Sharp, Python, Ruby, all language. There is no change. So I hope you can understand now what is a prime and write this program to your book, and that is just reference for you. You cannot type this like I just as a board work, and that is also not and you can directly, that is a comment line section, or you can say the document section. You can provide your short file name, author name, date, time, creation of that file. I just reference for you this, I all these things in single comment line and multi comment line. So I hope you can enjoy this session, and so many logic in this session. So we can use while loop and if else condition in this program, and directly divisible 2. So prime number is an number itself, and one that is divisible. Other factor is not appear, that is prime. Otherwise it is not a prime. So I close Alt F3 function. Yes, again that watch window and output window, and then Alt X, so quit. So I hope you can understand what is a prime number, and wait for my upcoming magic number. So many number is there. So next, wait and subscribe my channel Ashok Sijal Academy. Press the bell icon to never miss any update. And thanks for your watching, supporting, and sharing my video lecture. Hare Krishna.